Hi everybody, I'm Mike McCrory and this is Would You Make It. So I'm working on this closet remodel, and this was originally a his and hers closet, two quite small closets. There was a dividing wall here, there was an entry door there where the camera is, and another entry door over here. So what I had to do, because the client wants to have a single closet and they also want to have cabinets in here, is I had to push this wall out. So I've taken out the original walls, I've constructed a new wall, and now I have all of these gaps in the hardwood that I'm going to have to piece in. So the source of material for that is going to be this hardwood over here, because this is where the cabinets are going to go, and it doesn't really need to have hardwood under it, so that's a perfect source for this. It's just going to be a tedious job to cut out all these individual pieces and to piece this into it, but that's what I'm going to do in this video. So let's get started. I'll start by setting the depth of the circular saw to be the same as the thickness of the hardwood. And then I'll cut along one of the scrap pieces just freehand to be able to remove a piece so that the tongue and groove are not all interlocked anymore. I'll make 3 cuts in total so that I can remove the middle piece, and then I can pry out the 2 adjoining pieces using a chisel or a screwdriver. With one row entirely removed, now it's just a simple matter of prying out the remaining pieces. Well, I've got the floorboards all removed and I've got the area cleaned up, and I took the individual pieces home to my workshop so that I could remove the tongue and remove the bottom side of the groove, and that way they'll slip in easily after I remove these pieces. The thing that I didn't think about until now, and it should have been obvious, is that these used to be 2 individual rooms, so there's no way that the original floorboards are going to be in alignment with each other. So that means I'm going to have to remove this entire one room of flooring. So I'm going to remove it all the way across, cut out the individual pieces here so that I can fit these in, and then I will refloor it all the way across. So now I need to replace some of the floor pieces, and in order to do that I need to remove some of the pieces that are already in place. The trickiest one is going to be this piece right here that's around the door frame, because it's surrounded by other pieces of hardwood floor. So I need to extract that one piece without damaging the ones that are surrounding it. So I'll show how I do that in this video. The ones that are behind me, where I've already removed part of the floor, are going to be a lot easier because they're attached only at one end. So this is the tricky one, and this is what I'm going to show. I'll use a spade bit to drill holes right near the edges of the piece of wood that I want to remove, and that serves as a starting point for the circular saw that I'm going to run through the board. You don't have to go as close to the edge as I did here. You just want to make sure that you don't cut into the adjoining piece.
Now I'll start the circular saw with the back of the blade positioned in the hole, and then I'll run it through. For the last cut, the door frame was in the way, preventing the saw from running all the way through. So I just drilled another hole a little further out, and that enabled the piece to be released easily. And then I'll do the same thing on the inside of the closet. Here it looks like I cut into the adjoining piece, but that's just the camera angle. Here I'm drilling holes at the very end of the piece that I want to remove. Next, I'm removing the paper that's underneath because I'm going to glue this piece in with construction adhesive. I'll cut it to length using the chop saw. Add the adhesive, and then fit the piece in. And then I'll finish up with a few brad nails. Next, I'll do the same thing on the other side of the door, but in this case I have to remove more pieces. The reason there are more pieces to replace on this side is because the new door is going to be wider, so I've expanded the door frame. This Dremel Sawmax came in handy so that I could cut out the piece to make it fit around the door frame. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but sometimes I'm limited with the tools that I have on hand when I'm on a job site. And then I put down a chalk line so that the remainder of the floor would be in alignment. And then it was just a matter of putting all the pieces in. Now the flooring is in place and some of the cabinets are starting to appear. So now you can go to the next video to see how I made all the cabinetry.